Reputations 2013, a novel by acclaimed Colombian writer Juan Gabriel Vásquez, centers on Javier Mallarino, a legendary political cartoonist whose influence has shaped national discourse for decades. Now 65, Mallarino begins to question the moral consequences of his work when a long-buried cartoon resurfaces, one that may have inadvertently driven an innocent man to suicide. Vásquez, one of Latin America's most prominent contemporary authors, is perhaps best known for his 2011 novel, The Sound of Things Falling, winner of the Alfaguara Novel Prize and the 2014 Impact Dublin Literary Award. The story opens on the streets of Bogotá, where Mallarino, declining the protection of a government-issued armored vehicle, walks to the historic Teatro Colón. There, a grand tribute is being held in his honor. Over his 40-year career, Mallarino has targeted powerful politicians, drug lords, and public figures with his biting satire, earning both admiration and condemnation. He is celebrated as a moral compass by some, and reviled as a dangerous provocateur by others. Reflecting on the irony of being celebrated by the very elites he once ridiculed, he muses, "Life turns us into caricatures of ourselves." At the ceremony, Mallarino is approached by Samantha Leal, a poised journalist in her 30s who requests an interview. He agrees to meet her the next day at his secluded home in the mountains. His ex-wife Magdalena is also present, and the two rekindle their complicated relationship, leading to a night together. Through their conversations, we learn how Mallarino's relentless pursuit of truth in his art, often at the expense of personal relationships, drove a wedge between them. Magdalena had once questioned whether public exposure of others' faults was worth the pain it caused. Mallarino's reply was resolute. He would sacrifice loved ones before sacrificing his integrity. The next day, Samantha arrives for what was supposedly an interview, but she soon reveals her true purpose. She isn't there as a journalist, but as someone with a deeply personal question. As a child, she had been close to Mallarino's daughter, and she believes something traumatic happened to her in his house when she was 7. However, her memory is hazy, uncertain, fractured. She's come to Mallarino hoping he can confirm or deny what might have occurred. Taken aback, Mallarino searches his memory for the truth about that night and begins to confront the unintended consequences of his long, lauded career. Years earlier, Mallarino had hosted a party at his home, an event unexpectedly disrupted by the arrival of conservative Congressman Cuellar, a frequent target of Mallarino's scathing cartoons. Cuellar had not been invited. He came to plead with Mallarino to stop publicly ridiculing him. Meanwhile, Mallarino's young daughter Beatriz and her friend Samantha wandered among the guests, sipping the remnants of abandoned drinks until they were semi-conscious. A doctor was summoned, and finding no serious danger, prescribed sugared water before the girls were put to bed. Later that night, a commotion erupted. Samantha's father was seen chasing Cuellar down the stairs, emerging from the direction of the bedroom where the girls had been sleeping. When Mallarino checked on them, he noticed something unsettling. Samantha had shifted positions, or been moved. Her skirt was hiked above her waist, one knee bent. There was no direct evidence that Cuellar had assaulted her or even entered the room, but the implication lingered. The next day, Mallarino published a cartoon insinuating that Cuellar was a pedophile. The damage was immediate and irreversible. Cuellar's career collapsed, and not long after, he took his own life. Samantha, unaware of these details, has grown up with a gnawing uncertainty about that night. Her memories are fragmented, unstable. "I don't know if I'm remembering because I remember," she tells Mallarino, "or if I'm remembering because you told me." Hoping to give her some closure, Mallarino arranges a meeting for her with Cuellar's widow. Meanwhile, he confronts his longtime editor, Rodrigo Valencia. But Valencia warns him. The last thing you want to do is start asking questions, adding that if Mallarino had been wrong, his own legacy could be destroyed. Still, Valencia admits he had urged Cuellar to attend the party, hoping for reconciliation. Outside the widow's office, Mallarino sees Samantha again, but the story with the women remains unresolved. Instead, the focus turns inward. Mallarino's sense of righteousness, once unwavering, begins to erode. He has long imagined himself a righteous scourge of the corrupt, toppling generals, unmasking drug lords, but now he must confront a harder truth. Sometimes his satire may have devastated not the powerful, but the defenseless. He begins to ask himself painful questions. Can a single cartoon, no matter how clever, what he once called a stinger but dipped in honey, really destroy a man's life? And even if the man deserved to fall, what value is there in causing ruin? The novel closes with Mallarino's quiet reckoning. In the solitude of his mountain home, he decides to destroy his drawing tools, his pencils, inks, and archives, and vows never to draw again. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy this video, leave a like and subscribe.